It starts with a sound, a gentle hum, a metallic rhythm echoing through a factory that never sleeps. And in the heart of this colossal machine, one of the most iconic creations of modern snacking is being born. A bar that's been satisfying billions of cravings for almost a century. A bar so addictive, it's not just food, it's emotion. This is the story of Snickers, the world's most loved chocolate bar. From the first crack of roasted peanuts to the smooth swirl of molten caramel, from the aroma of cocoa beans to the final glossy coat of chocolate, every second here is a dance of precision, science, and sweetness. But how is it made? What makes Snickers so perfectly balanced? Chewy yet crunchy, salty yet sweet. And why has this candy bar conquered the world, one bite at a time? Let's step inside the Snickers factory, where 65% of America's Snickers bars are born, and uncover the mouth-watering secrets behind this legendary treat. The birth of a legend. The story of Snickers began almost 100 years ago. The year was 1930. Frank C. Mars, the visionary founder of Mars Incorporated, had an idea. What if you could take everything people crave, sweetness, saltiness, crunch, and creaminess, and trap it all inside a single bar? He did just that. The result? A masterpiece of texture and taste that the world would come to know as Snickers, named after the family's favorite horse. Today, the spirit of that creation still lives on inside the bustling Mars factory in Waco, Texas, a place that produces millions of Snickers every single day. This factory alone is responsible for more than half of all Snickers sold in the U.S. That's millions of bars, each crafted with the same precision, care, and passion as the very first one. The chocolate magic. Every Snickers begins with chocolate, but not just any chocolate. This isn't the kind that melts in your hand. Mars chocolate engineers have perfected a formula that melts only when it touches your tongue. A silky experience that feels like pure luxury. It all starts with cocoa beans, shipped from farms around the world, arriving here in massive sacks. They're cracked open, and the precious cocoa nibs are separated from their shells. These nibs are roasted in enormous ovens, where the air fills with a rich, dark aroma, a scent so irresistible, workers say it's impossible not to crave chocolate during a shift. Once roasted, the nibs are ground down into a thick, smooth paste. Sugar and milk powder are added, and what comes out is the base of milk chocolate, but it's still grainy, not yet smooth. Next, it enters the refiner, a machine that breaks the chocolate down until it's as fine as silk. Then comes the conching process, the secret step that gives Snickers chocolate its signature melt. Massive rotating arms stir the chocolate for hours, while extra cocoa butter and lecithin are added. The heat and movement polish each particle until it flows like velvet. Finally, it's tempered, heated and cooled in precise stages so that the cocoa butter crystallizes evenly. That's what makes the chocolate glossy, firm, and resistant to fingerprints, but still melts instantly in your mouth. The chocolate is ready, rich, creamy, and smooth. But that's just the beginning of the magic. The peanut power. If chocolate is the soul of Snickers, peanuts are its heartbeat. Every day, this factory roasts thousands of pounds of fresh peanuts, enough to cover more than 20 acres of farmland daily. It starts with raw peanuts, cleaned, sorted, and loaded into a massive hopper that feeds an enormous conveyor system. The peanuts move forward in waves, disappearing into a 150-foot-long convection oven, where hot air at 350 degrees Fahrenheit roasts them to perfection. The sound inside is hypnotic, like rain falling on a metal roof, but it's the crackle of roasting nuts. After 30 minutes, they emerge golden brown, aromatic, and full of that deep, nutty flavor that defines every Snickers bar. Before they cool, the peanuts pass through a rotating drum that coats them in a fine mist of salt. Just a touch, enough to amplify the sweetness of the chocolate and caramel they'll soon meet. They fall gently onto a conveyor belt, heading for the next phase of their destiny, the golden caramel river. Somewhere else in the factory, giant steel kettles roar to life. Here, sugar, butter, condensed milk, corn syrup, and salt are heated together, transforming into molten gold. This is caramel, smooth, buttery, and slightly salty, the bridge between crunch and chew. It's a delicate process. Too much heat, and the caramel burns. Too little, and it never thickens. Inside an 800-pound vat, the ingredients are boiled to 250 degrees Fahrenheit, then transferred to a vacuum kettle where moisture is carefully reduced, and the texture becomes silky and rich. Near the end, vanilla and emulsifiers are added, giving it that signature Snickers aroma and stability. When it's ready, the caramel is thick and glossy, a golden river that flows like lava, waiting to meet the roasted peanuts. The nougat heart. Deep inside another section of the factory, machines are creating the core of the Snickers, the nougat. This isn't ordinary candy fluff. Nougat is the chewy foundation that makes every bite stretch just enough to satisfy. It begins with sugar, corn syrup, and water, heated to 250 degrees Fahrenheit until it forms a syrupy base. Then comes the magic moment. Fluffy whipped egg whites are added in. Instantly, the mixture puffs up, becoming light and airy, a sweet cloud of chewy perfection. But to make it truly Snickers, the nougat is mixed with freshly ground peanut butter, giving it that subtle, nutty depth beneath the sweetness. The mixture is cooled, flattened, and rolled through chilled metal sheets, shaping it into a wide, even slab. It's soft but firm, creamy yet elastic. The exact texture that gives Snickers its unforgettable chew. Layers of legend. Now comes the moment where all the elements come together. The roasted peanuts tumble from their conveyors into a swirling vat of molten caramel, sticky, sweet, and irresistibly aromatic. As the peanuts are coated in caramel, they form a gooey, golden mixture that slowly spreads over a giant cooling drum. The caramel thickens just enough to hold its shape. Then, from above, the sheet of nougat rolls forward, meeting the peanut caramel blend in a perfect union. Together, they pass through heavy rollers that press the layers into one flawless slab, smooth, dense, and beautifully even. Next, this massive sheet enters a long refrigerated tunnel, cooling to 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Here, the flavors merge. Salty meets sweet, crunchy meets chewy. It's like an orchestra tuning before the final performance. When it emerges, sharp rotating blades slice the slab into long, narrow strips. Then, guillotine-like cutters snap them into perfect 4.5-inch bars, one after another, in a hypnotic rhythm of precision. Each bar is identical, perfectly portioned, perfectly crafted, waiting for the final transformation. The chocolate shower. Back in the chocolate section, the tempered milk chocolate has reached the perfect flow. Now it's time to give these bars their signature look, that thick, creamy coat of chocolate we all crave. The bars move forward into enrobing machines, first passing through a shallow pool that coats the bottom, then under a flowing curtain of molten chocolate that drenches each one completely. It's mesmerizing. Hundreds of golden bars disappearing under a river of rich, silky chocolate. They glide over vibrating grates that shake off any excess, ensuring each bar is evenly covered and glossy. Then comes the moment of beauty, the signature swirl. A roller moves lightly over the top of each bar, creating the wave-like pattern you see every time you unwrap a Snickers. It's a small touch, but it's the brand's fingerprint, a mark of identity. Finally, the chocolate-covered bars enter another cooling tunnel, where cold air solidifies the coating into a firm, shiny shell, ready to rule the world. As the bars exit the cooling tunnel, they're lined up in perfect formation, rows upon rows of chocolate perfection. They glide toward high-speed packaging machines that wrap 1,000 bars per minute in that familiar Snickers wrapper, each one sealed tight to lock in freshness, because the first bite must always feel like the very first Snickers ever made. From here, boxes are loaded, sealed, and shipped across the globe to supermarkets, gas stations, vending machines, and corner shops. Each bar begins a new journey to satisfy a craving somewhere in the world. And that's the beauty of Snickers. It's not just candy. It's a promise, a mix of flavors that brings comfort, nostalgia, and joy in every bite. From farms and factories to your hands, the journey of Snickers is one of art, science, and passion, a perfect symphony of flavor that's been playing for nearly a century. And as long as there are cravings, Snickers will keep satisfying them, one delicious bar at a time. If this made you crave a Snickers, imagine watching more stories like this, where we uncover the secrets behind the world's favorite products. Hit subscribe, tap the bell icon, and join our journey as we explore more amazing factories, hidden processes, and the fascinating world of how things are made. Because sometimes the sweetest secrets are the ones hiding in plain sight.